to expect from them. We saw a few upsets yesterday. I'm sure that there would be more on the cards. Fnatic, of course, today. You know, there's always those differences. There's always the expectations that aren't quite met. Now, this seems, to be honest, like probably the biggest ask of all, if we expect that that might be the case for Cloud9 here. But I'm sure that Guts will be coming in here with every intention of spoiling that party before a single party popper has gone off, Des.
Well, plenty of party popper in the last 24 hours. That much is for sure. Let's see if another one can join in this game. Double hard breach ban coming out to kick things off. The Hibana focusing more towards the hatch-based play that you see on the downstairs site. So with her taken away and the Maverick also disappearing, I think here you've probably got to see something like a Kai maybe come through. Not the biggest deal in the world, given that the Thatcher is still available, I think. But could be an option. Mira going to be the first one that comes out. One thing's for sure, I think you're pretty much guaranteed to see Thermite and Ace in every single round of this match.
Yeah, I think there's certainly going to be a strong requirement for it. Like you say, it's going to give it, the problem, you know, with Ace is that you've got the option there to open one hatch, but then it only leaves you with one Selma device remaining because two are required to fully open a reinforced hatch. So not too flexible in terms of a site like this where you need hatches open. Can't open two of them. If you choose one, you know, and which one do you go for? Do you get the motor hatch? Do you get the kitchen hatch? And then you leave yourself with only one opportunity to breach a wall looking into sight. So as you say, Thermite being picked up by JJ, it's going to be almost essential throughout, I would have expected. But it does mean that we've got Thatcher available, so that should speed things up a little bit. We've got Kaid being brought along, so there is going to be somewhat of a defence of those hatches. But with Thatcher on the board, I wouldn't expect it to be too difficult. But to begin with, in round number one, we are going to be heading to CCTV and Cash, so we'll have to wait just a little bit longer before we find out exactly how that hatch play is going to work out.
Last night during the European broadcast, we spoke a little bit about the frustration that a lot of pro teams have with Clubhouse is that the lineup you have to bring is relatively static, and you're seeing the same thing today as what we said yesterday. You have to bring the Thatcher along to help get those walls open. The Zofia or the Ashe, admittedly, you can now change between the two to deal with any utility. You need a sledge for the frag grenades as well as the vertical destruction when you're attacking into the basement, and then you are pretty much guaranteed to need two hard breaches. So the attacking lineup is locked in. With the Thatcher on side, that's always going to be a thing, but countered by the Kaid, we'll see there's a little bit of trick play to go on here and see if that plays out. At least to begin with, it don't seem to be too big a focus on the downstairs. Of course, given we are on the upstairs to kick things off, that'll be more engineered, I expect, towards, say, construction wall and no doubt out towards Kennel's wall.
Lily then heading on the sledge immediately up towards the roof by the looks of things. There is the possibility maybe go and get that logistics hatch open. Let's get a bit of a pincer going on and push from construction side as well as the east wall. JJ, he's heading towards that east wall to start thinking about getting things open. He's got Envy Taylor just playing in behind there, looking to get that bandit trick off potentially. It's going to be a bit tricky with the Thatcher EMPs in use, but how about that? Ooh. You're managing to take down Shale, and that is going to be a great start for Guts Gaming. That is exactly the sort of start that they needed.
Just a little bit shy of that one, I think. MB able to keep himself safe, and I'm surprised as anyone, by the way, to see Shile, the resident Zofia main, losing out to a Zofia in Eura. Quite interesting to see that exchange coming out. This wall should now get opened up, though. Enough EMPs, enough Zofia impacts to come downstairs. I do like how Cloud9 kind of rose to the challenge and looked to contest, but so far that's them on the back foot.
East wall open then, good progress, less than half of the round gone. So the next step for Guts Gaming is to decide, do we clear out the garage? Oh, light. No real reason to be running quite so close to that garage door, and he's just paid the price in the form of about 30 HP coming away from his bar there, and that could well prove important come the end of the round. So worth bearing in mind, we can see that Static has taken some damage up there on the catwalk. So Guts now are aiming to get control of this garage space. That's what they want to do. They want to get up on that catwalk, and then they've got the crossfire that they require. They've got the view in from the east breach. They've got the view in from the garage window, and they can start thinking about getting that diffuser down on the ground. But it's not going to be easy to clear Static out before that. Now, that's a nice nitro toss, hitting the door with pinpoint precision, but not connecting.
It's unfortunate, but now he's the next one that needs to unsettle. He actually drops down and goes hyper-aggressive, but flash to the high heavens. His screen is fully white. Might want to get your mindset checked out for that one, buddy, and sadly won't be able to achieve anything off the back of it. This is a lot of control being assumed by Guts here. Envy finally bringing something to the side of Cloud9 in this round. But bearing in mind, it's taken 2.5 minutes to get that east wall open, to get control of Garage. It's going to be like Fnatic earlier on, where they have one chance to get this right, and they might be running themselves into an early demise at the hands of Nova, who still has 2 smokes in the back pocket. They need to act now. They need to kill this smoke.
Envy still being allowed to roam around down in lounge. JJ starts to get the diffuser down, has to bail on that attempt and gets down. He can't stay in the toxic gas for that long, has to be more aware of his surroundings, and I can only call that as a bit of a throw coming in from Guts. They had everything in place that they needed. They were just about to start getting that diffuser down, but then the movement from JJ to run around the front of the server stack rather than dipping back into Garage was just ultimately their downfall.
Oh, I mean, I commented on it as it was building up as well. Final 30 seconds, the smoke has just dropped out his first canister. He's got 2 in the back pocket with 19 seconds left. That is enough time to choke out that default plant spot. You need to pick somewhere that is a non-standard site. So what does he do? Gets up, runs around the server stack to try and contest along with, I forget who it was that pushed into Cash, but there's a barbed wire on the ground. You're stuck inside a smoke, you go down with a diffuser in hand, and because there's 5 seconds on the clock, there is not enough time to course correct. If they'd added maybe 20 or 30 seconds to their setup, they've done everything else right. They cleared Garage with excellent coordination as a team. They dealt with Shile earlier on and freed up the east wall. Guts did everything right except for the final execute. And sadly, sometimes when you're against the clock, one mistake is all it takes to throw a round away.
So we can see we're going to be heading to gym and bedroom this time around, looking to move it on. Still remaining on the top floor and keeping Church and Arsenal in their pockets here, Cloud9, looking to get these top 2 sites ticked off and on the board. Much the same in terms of defence. We can see a lot of presence over on the east side. They're going to try to hold on to Cash for as long as possible. East wall has been reinforced, so just looking to burn time and resources of Guts Gaming as they try to push in from that east side. Now, Guts have also got the option, of course, to look as working through bar up main stairs. We saw that used successfully yesterday, also opening up that hot tub wall. There are options for them rather than just sort of being funneled into that east side, but they really do need to pay some attention to it, because otherwise you get into a situation where the battle lines are drawn and you've just got all of the defenders on the east side of the map, you've got all the defenders pushing from the west side, and it all just comes down to that gun skill. And I dare say Cloud9 are going to have a good shout when it comes to that position. So right now the east wall has been opened up. Good start from Guts. They are doing exactly as suggested, looking to get a couple of angles of pressure applied. Now then, you've got to hit those shots, Yura. That was your chance. Takes a lot of damage off Shale there, and he will be ruining that one. I think there was an opportunity to get them a man up again.
Missing a freebie on the same guy as well. It would have been Charles going down early on, a play that we talk about so often, and Euro will be punished for it as well. For missing that kill, pays for his sins, gets picked up by Static not long after. But as you can see, the big focus here is on this extended hold, and actually Harper making use of a trick that you often see on Oregon, throwing those impacts underneath to clear out the ace breaching rounds. So many of them have now been committed. There is only one exothermic left in back pocket because one was committed to the wall. I imagine they want to save this one to try and make use of when it comes to pushing into the jacuzzi wall. But all the action is going off towards the east here. The extended hold definitely giving Guts something to think about, as already 90 seconds have been expended.
There is certainly work to be done, and they've got 3 defenders left, Nova, Shile and Static, so it's certainly not beyond reach for Guts Gaming here. They could do with just finding themselves another kill, and then they can look at pushing forward into an execution. The main problem that they've got at the minute in terms of execution is they don't have control over any plant sites, and we can see that's basically what they're looking to do at the minute. They're going to try and get that hot tub wall open, and that would suggest that there is a potential for them to push towards a plant inside of Gym, but they do need to do more work before they're in a position to do that. Static holding a really aggressive angle there, and will get the rewards for it with a kill onto JJ, shutting him down in the bathroom, and that is just one step closer. Another nail in the coffin for Guts here, and it just looks like they're stalling out a little bit with 30 seconds left to go.
Well, that's what it comes down to again. The final 30 seconds or so. I said about the West Wall being opened up, and that was only with 60 seconds remaining. They're thinking about it. Light's trying to make it happen and brings down the man of the round in Static and almost gets the second, but no, they're not going to be able to close Light down the push, and he collects 2 kills for himself. 10 seconds remaining. One man's down. It's a 1 versus 1. He walks down looking the wrong way. Nova, how do you not convert the kill? It stays as a 1v1. 3 seconds remaining. Goes for the challenge and doesn't pay it at the right time. My word, 2 golden opportunities for either player there to close it out. And Static, my reaction is the same as yours. How on earth has that round ended with no one dead?
Well, it's certainly a surprise, Des. I'll give you that one. It's not what I expected from the last 10 seconds, especially when that final attacker comes around the corner and has his eyes firmly locked on the Banshee. And it just shows how distracting those devices can be, looking to clear it out, but Cloud9 just unable to close that out at the end. Very, very lucky to survive on the clock. As you say, there were opportunities on both sides of the table. We had a little game of Ring Around the Roses round bathroom there, and nobody able to find the bullets that would really count.
Honestly, guys, we need a word. The fact that both members came so close to being able to kill each other probably once or twice in that dying exchange was just insanity that no one did die.
It is, and I mean, the thing is, we look at this coming into it, and I've suggested that, Cloud9 are so dominant in the region, and like you say, it's probably going to be their playground almost, with Giants having moved down to APAC South, but there's no reason for it to be, from what I've seen from these first 2 rounds. Guts have had opportunities in both rounds to take it and to put it on the board, and they just haven't been able to get it over the line. And again, whether that comes down to we're back on a first game, it's warming up, it's getting back into the swing of this full force competitive play, but they have to take those opportunities against a side like Cloud9. I don't know. Is there a bit of reputation for Cloud9 playing in here, and a bit of nerves on the side of Guts that are just buying them a round or two? Because you have to almost, you don't have to disrespect Cloud9, but you don't have to show them so much respect either. Go in and get hold of those rounds.
I am curious to see how this has kind of set itself up to be like the old style SSG roam in this round, by the way, that we'll see individual being brought along. There is no castle, but there is Shile at the window, putting Lily in the ground. That's a painful operator to lose as well, because it's your sledge, the one that you rely on doing so much vertical work for you. Yura's already trying to aggress into blue, up through oil, mind you. Couldn't quite find the kill, and even taking a bit of peppering on his way back out. Now Light's going to collect a kill. It looks like there is a full-on attack coming in, up through blue, down through dirt. That seems to be the point of ingress that Guts are focusing on. They've said, forget about the top floor, forget about the roam that's going on upstairs. We're going to bypass all that and start looking straight at the site. Yesterday in Europe, we saw a Rooney being brought along in this case as well. Anything to slow down attackers was part of the game. Here you've got the Malusi and the Legion, but rather than bringing along that Aruni, you've now got the Vigil in place instead.
Half of the round gone nearly then. We can see Crazy Papillon just looking to relocate himself, push from another angle. Right now, Cloud9, they're looking reasonably good. 3 versus 3. They've got the remaining defenders down on site. The one thing particularly playing into the hands of Guts Gaming here at this point is the clock. They've got much more time available to them than they've maybe had previously. Now, Static, he's just looking to make sure nobody else tries to push through that dirt tunnel. He's going to have absolutely none of that. Crazy Papillon, it will be opening up those floorboards above, looking to take advantage of the vertical angles. Light will do exactly that with a kill onto Harper, leaving Static and Envy with a lot of work to do now. 2 versus 3, a minute left on the clock. There's not much playing into their favour, and this is the sort of situation that I'm saying for Guts. You've got to come out, you've got to grab hold of it, you've got to have the guts to take the round and put it on the board, and they get another kill. They are looking good. Envy shut down, Yura finishes it off, and that is what Guts needed. Bit more confidence, get in there, get the round, and they've done it.
Euro was just a constant headache in that round. When he came pushing in through blue, initially it was like, okay, we know that he's there. Bit of chip damage exchange back and forth. Now we need to always be aware of him pushing back up. He only closes the round out with a 3k, I think, towards the back end of it. So not only closes out with a 3k, but that pressure that he was exerting the whole time just freed up the rest of the team to push in as they wanted to collect the couple of kills they did, like Light, for example. Just good stuff. Despite losing that sledge early on, they basically bailed on the vertical play altogether. Good round from Guts, and especially a good round for Yura.
So, much better round from Guts there. I think the interesting thing, I was just looking at the scoreboard there, Des. If we have a look through, we've got 4 kills, 2 kills across Eurolight and Lily. And that to me says Guts, they are getting the kills. They are competitive in these rounds. And so I think Cloud9 can think themselves a little bit lucky here to be in a position necessarily being 2-1 up. It could very easily be the reverse of that at this point. So Guts, they just need to now hoover up that confidence that comes with picking up round 3. And they need to push forward. They need to just ride that wave now. The difficulty for them, of course, is that they're coming back up to this top floor. Last time around, they had the Thermite who got caught in the Banshee and just absolutely ate a face full of smoke, and it took him down. And it was just strange, as I said, you know, to move around the front of the server stack. I don't really know why you need to be going there. Usually, if you're going to dip away from a Nitro, or if you're going to dip away from a Toxic Babe canister, looking from a catwalk plant, you move back out onto catwalk. So a little bit unorthodox, but I'm sure that Guts will learn from that and they'll look to do things differently here, and mainly probably just give themselves a little bit more time.
Time is of the essence. It's the kind of the story I think in APAC, a little bit in EU yesterday, is the number of teams that are kind of falling at the wayside when it comes to the final few seconds in a round. When I get that pace stepping up a little bit, the game is entering this kind of time and phase where attackers generally are now starting to be considered holding the advantage in a number of cases, and maybe the introduction of Haruni has slowed that down a little bit further to give us now quite a healthy balance between the two sides. I guess time will tell on that regard. Here we go and getting this wall opened up though. Envy knows this is getting opened down. He can't do anything to put down another a bandit battery. Sorry, I think in his case there he was thinking, quick, put it down. That's why you saw a few bullets coming out. Wall is opened up. Static finds light elsewhere at the same time. That's the ace down, mind you. So now they've got 1 exothermic still to play with. They're probably going to want to try and save that, I imagine, to look towards the construction wall later in the round.
Possibly. It becomes a difficult decision for them nowadays. They've got the choice, obviously, of trying to get that construction wall open, or it depends what has happened down on the garage walls. Last time around, we saw the ace actually go and open up the garage angles for them to enable them to clear static off the rafters. If they don't have that utility anymore and garage hasn't been opened, it becomes a difficult choice at that point. Now then, Lily, he's going to get finished off by Envy, and that's a great peek out of the billiards table window there. So Envy and Shaw just absolutely causing a nuisance of themselves here, getting really aggressive up at those windows. It's sort of looking like that round 1 in round 3, Des, has been a bit like hitting a hornet's nest with a big stick.
And it's starting to feel that way because they keep on snapping out in different spots, and the number of members that are watching windows or doors that are external facing at this point is crazy. Barely any of them really worrying about the breach, just worrying about other areas of the map where you might find members of Guts starting to peek their noses through, taking them clean off with a few bullets before they can even make any kind of ingress. There's one here, is a bit of a scrap going out through garage door, and Euro at the same time on site is in. He's now thinking to himself, okay, what trouble will I come across? Taking a bit of a fight through the doorway itself. Where's the man gone? He asked himself. You found him, but I think it's going to be an all-out clean out for Cloud9. A trade coming out at the very end, but that was over in a flash.
Guts really need to find a way to win up on this top floor, because otherwise they're going to do absolutely no better than 4-2 on the half, and Cloud9 will even have the opportunity to make that 5-1 if they can actually lock down the Church and Arsenal site. But once again, we see their secondary site choice coming out as Gym and Bedroom. Last time around, there was an attempt to push the hot tub wall, but it did feel from Guts as a little bit of an afterthought to me, Des. It was one man went over there and sort of got it opened up, but the majority of the push had already come from the east side. They'd lost a few men and it never really had any teeth. I'd like to see maybe 2 commit to that hot tub wall push whilst the rest work on moving through east and really try to make Cloud9 feel uncomfortable inside, really make them feel pressured like they're between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do with that east approach is never really a bad thing, because the main reason why you want control of CCTV is the west window that looks out of CCTV looks across the whole south balcony of this site. So if you want to be able to play as an attacker on the south balcony and look through the windows into both sites, you need to have control of CCTV. That's why on C9 side they're putting up such a strong defense there, is saying, hey, if you want to be able to make use of this window and keep yourself safe on the south balcony, you need to get control of CCTV. What confused me was they took control of CCTV and then moved all the members seemingly over towards that jacuzzi breach. They didn't worry about playing south balcony. It's kind of like you're taking an area of the map that you need to control another area and then not using that other area to your tactical advantage. That's what I want to see more out of Guts this game. More angles of attack, more angles of aggression, make Cloud9 sweat a little bit.
That's it. It's supposed to, almost fall like dominoes. You get in, you take control of CCTV. That allows you immediately onto those windows. That helps you open hot tub wall. You get a couple of men pushed in through there, and all of a sudden you should have remaining defenders caught in a trap in the middle, essentially. The noose should tighten at that point, and the net should catch them up, and you should just to take them out effectively as they try to rotate in and around site. But it's just like you say, maybe getting control of areas and then not really putting them to the maximum use. Now we can see Shoal and Nova just holding angles in there for the time being inside logistics and construction. Now Yura, he's looking to make a slow push in here. He needs to be very, very aware that he's got Shoal on his left hand side there, so that could be an immediate challenge as he tries to come in. Now they seem to be in a bit of a deadlock at the minute, and the defender here has absolutely no need to push this whatsoever, but he does need to be careful, taking his eyes away from the angle. And once again, Yura gets the majority of shots onto Shoal, but cannot take him down.
This keeps on happening for Shyle, where he's getting into these spots where he should really be dead for rights, but he's not, because the final couple of shots don't connect. It has been a quiet game for Shyle. I think he will shine a bit more on the attack. On the defense, he's kind of been playing a game of cat and mouse, just constantly trying to run away from Yura. They've even ignored CCTV for the most part and just said, look, our focus actually here is looking far out to the west, so they can't play on the south balcony. They're going to have to look through going in Jacuzzi Wall and through stock. They're really not stock, sorry, logistics office. They're the only two choices they've really got to play with here. That to me raises a few alarm bells.
A little bit of attention being paid towards logistics, but as I suggested, this time we've got two men looking to push in from that hot tub breach now. Bathroom has been cleared out, one remains in gym, so they need to be very aware of their right hand side as Crazy Papillon goes in. But Shyle is not really in a position to be making too strong a challenge here. Bullets fired, just sprayed through the smoke there. They can't see where they're heading, but they know there's enemies there, so they pump them through and take some damage. Yura, he's going to manage to finish off Shyle, and that was only a sliver of health that has actually gone, but it's another gun off the board. Envy, he's going to look to move up and take his position, very aware of that vertical angle up through the hatch. 30 seconds left to go, still work to be done for Guts.
Still plenty of work to do, and 20 seconds again means no room for error. So let's keep a close eye on how it plays out from here. If Crazy Papillon can get this kill, it'd be massive. The Pokeball comes out, doesn't quite kill Crazy Papillon, but he walks into a frostmatch, something Ace is all too familiar with, and not the time to be doing just that. Now Harper, all by himself, needs to be able to hold up against these next two. Finds one. Does he know on the last? Gets shot through the wall. The two kills come out. I think Yura with the god shot there closes it out. Cloud9 still win the round somehow?
Cloud9 managed to win on the basis that I think the kill goes down first for them, and obviously the diffuser can't be. The diffuser, it was a trade, but the diffuser can't be planted at that point. So it is a Cloud9 round, and right now they are riding their luck, Des, it is fair to say, but one way or another, that's not what the history books will remember. The fact is that it's 4-1, and those are the rounds that are on the board. And look at the spread of kills throughout the C9 team. Is only Shyle really not getting into the mix with them, only a couple to his name, but everybody else chipping in.
Balmy. The endings that last round, both exchanges shots. I honestly thought Yura got him first and that was round done. But no, like you say, the trade comes out, everyone's dead, therefore the defenders win. That's just how close it comes down to it sometimes. Last round, the defensive half were going into basement, and here are a couple of those shots. This is a nice kill that he finds here, and I thought, okay, surely here, Yura hits this next shot first, but no. At the same time they trade, all four members hit the deck, everybody's dead. But as we both commented, defenders win in that eventuality. Unlucky, I guess. A couple of milliseconds could have made all the difference.
That's it. Ultimately, one bullet's going to land first, and it was the attacker that went into the kill feed first. So Shyle just looking to set up in the blue corridor there now. Cloud9 need to do something a little bit differently here. They shed too many men at the beginning of the round last time, and that really caused them some harm. Guts were able then to push in from a number of angles. They were working the kitchen hatch, and they had boots on the ground looking to push people around in sight as well. And that is something that Cloud9 need to be aware of. They need to keep their man count up throughout the round. It's one thing that can be very important down in Church and Arsenal is having the manpower to hold it down, because you need to be able to cover Dirt Tunnel, you need to be able to cover Blue Corridor, you need to be able to cover that Church Wall. So at least 3 or 4 men required in the last 30 seconds to a minute. Something they need to be aware of, and maybe not commit as heavily to the roam game this time.
Well, let's see what the Pulse can do as well with the two C4s. Sorry, I thought it was 3 for a second with the one at the top. But at the top of the screen, we'll tell you in case you have missed it on the UI. One, how the hell have you missed it? We can, of course, see all the utility that both the teams have. A lot of variants of utility being brought out by the attackers in this round. At the very least, 5 different secondary gadgets. A little bit different to the normal stacking that we see from most teams, where you'll just see like 6 to 9 flashes being brought along to help get through things like the Jaeger and the Wamai. We haven't seen the Wamai too much, I think, in this match. We're seeing it now, of course, in a couple of rounds previously we have. Very site dependent, but looking towards these C4s. One has already connected. Can they get another out as well?
Crazy Papillon will suffer to an early nitro there. Static able to open things up, and it's a much better start for Cloud9. As I suggested, they needed to keep the man count up, and they needed to make sure that they didn't give away lives on the roam, and instead they've done quite the reverse. Now, Light, he's just looking to see if he can get a very tight angle down into the basement there. He's up on the window, just looking through that small hole that's been punched in the side next to the hatch there. He's not going to get any joy for the time being, and it's actually Lily who goes in with that big sledgehammer, just looking to do a bit of renovation, ripping up those kitchen floorboards to see if any angles can be found onto the defenders. And the main thing that that's going to do is it's going to force the defenders deeper towards boxes. It's going to allow this hatch to be opened up without the potential for impact tricking, because as you can see, all the defenders know that they need to back off, they need to stay away. But Yura is going to wish that he'd backed off as Shayol takes him down in blue corridor, leaving us now 5 versus 3.
It's a very thorny, spiky defense coming out of Cloud9. Every time Guts feel like they're starting to get an angle set up that might prove valuable for them, they're just being shot at by Cloud9 and have already lost a couple of members in that case. Now we're starting to look at playing on the downstairs, using the Selma to try and catch that. Oh no! They clearly must have been just outside the range because the second smoke gets caught. They can't block out AKs here. Someone can rotate up or dirt can be in use, but they've dropped in. They're going for the plant. JJ gets one, doesn't get down. Now he's down to static, and just after that, they clean up while the plant is going down. If only that second smoke hadn't been caught by the Wamai Magnet, that could have been a very different conversation we're having right now, Ace.
Certainly could. Envy with a real heads-up play there. Just brought himself in the late round, just through that rotation that had been opened up between Church and Arsenal. Just dipped through the corridor, in through the rotation, picks up the man on his left, prevents the plant, and then flips his aim over to the kitchen hatch and finds himself another to close out the round. So a fantastic round 6 for Envy. We're going to be swapping sides, of course, coming into round 7. So we move on to seeing Cloud9 attack now. They've got themselves a fantastic 5-1 lead, and I think it's about time that they really put the hammer down, Des. They don't want now to allow any sort of comeback from Guts here. They just want to get them pinned down, get it onto match point, and really send a message to the rest of the league.
I am very interested to see how it plays out, because we've got the Pulse being brought along the same as in the last round, but you've also got the Vigilant and the Melusi. He may well look to play on the roam in this round. On the other side, though, for Cloud9, Shyle is going to be in his element now. He's on that Zofia where he always thrives. This is, in my opinion, where you might see Cloud9 really fly, because their attacks can be ferocious, but they're always so coordinated and calculated at the same time. This first round might give us a lot to go by. Let's just pray they don't get snagged out by those C4s that are being brought along by Guts ahead of time, because that's when you'll see Cloud9 at their very best.
So I will like just opening up the same rotation there that Envy just used to great effect to close out that last round. Now we're coming into the action phase. We've got Crazy Papillon up on the top floor. I'm not sure if he's got anybody supporting him. Just as I was saying that, Yura heads up there to do exactly that. So we've got the 2 men up there, one on Vigil, one on the Mute. So they've got all the gadgetry that they need to try and keep themselves locked down. We're also going to have one playing inside of Bar. So quite a spread out, roam heavy approach coming in from Guts here, and it's something that they took advantage of in the one round that they won. Now Yura, he's going to shut down Static, and that is a great start for Guts here. So just being able to get some additional dividends out of the roam play than I think we saw Cloud9 able to do.
I'm really impressed by Yura today, to be fair. The game that he's been having has been pretty phenomenal. And although he gets shut down in a few of the rounds, it's been the odd one where he stepped up with 2-3 kills to his name, opening kills like this. Sure, he's whiffed onto Charlotte in a couple of rounds that maybe could have swung it their way if he got that opening kill. These things happen. We don't know if it's ping, we don't know what it comes down to. Either way, he has missed a couple of crucial kills, but still high impact overall.
Cloud9 then just reassessing the situation. They've got Dirt Tunnel open. Shots taken by Shy, although he's going to leave them now in a 5 versus 3. And it's again, there's just an inability to deal with these roamers. Cloud9, they are not narrowing them down. They're not shutting them down. They're allowing them to move around bar, still on top floor. And they are losing bodies because of it. And they now find themselves backed against the wall here. 5 versus 3 and trying to push Dirt Corridor. But again, it's a difficult push. They've got a smoke in there who's using those Toxic Babe canisters, has the shotgun, the perfect weapon for that sort of CQC engagement, and that's exactly what you're going to get into. Just short range, short fights, and Cloud9 are likely to lose them. They recognise, though, the need to clear out the roamers. Yura sees the barrel of the gun, knows exactly where the head will follow, and takes it off the shoulders of the man as he closes out yet another of those attempted roam clears.
It's going from bad to worse from Cloud9, it's feeling like here as well. This attack definitely not the clean one that I thought that we would see. The problem is when Envy's still on the field, you never know what can be achieved. Sadly, Yura has already done so much damage in this round. Now up to 9 kills, picking off crucial members as the whole of Guts Gaming has weighed in. Good hold inside of Dirt as well to turn Cloud9 around and send them on their way. A very convincing first defensive round.
Yeah, much better from Guts Gaming there, seeing them get onto the defence. But what we've got to remember is that Cloud9 have still got easier sites to attack from here on out. Obviously, that was the primary choice there down in Church and Arsenal for Guts Gaming. They're going to head to CCTV and Cash now, for argument's sake. Let's say they pick this round up. They then have to go to Gym and Bedroom, which can always be a tough site to defend. So I'm sure that Cloud9, they won't mind that one round. They're going to be looking and thinking there's very different sites to come here. And CCTV Cash is one of them. The methods and the skills required to attack successfully onto this site considerably different to those used for Church and Arsenal. Less sort of map possession needed, really. You can do it from one side of the map quite easily. Get your east wall, which is generally just a matter of time. Take over garage, which is very limited in terms of the possibility for flanks. There's only one door in and out. That is really all you need to be able to successfully attack this site. Whereas Church and Arsenal, you have to be looking at a much more multifaceted approach. You need to have complete control over the mid floor at least. There's a lot more to do. So this site does offer a real possibility for Cloud9 here to come through, make sure that that little leak that's just occurred doesn't become a torrent, and they don't allow Guts back into this.
Well, it may well be. There's quite an interesting setup going on actually on this site where you saw the shield and the ADS is being stacked up on the garage door. I'm thinking here they want to be challenging Cloud9 as soon as they get the garage walls opened up. There it is. Thank you very much, medics. Both the ADSs and the Goyo shield. As soon as these walls get opened up, he's going to be challenging from there. C4s may get thrown over. This could be quite a battle for Cloud9 to actually get control of garage, assuming that's what they want. And given we've already seen the Selmas being deployed, that absolutely looks to be part of the plan.
They need to be very aware of Lounge, though. There's 2 ways into Lounge. It's not something that necessarily takes a long time to get to. You can move straight in through the blue window from Kennels, and you can already be challenging into Lounge. And JJ's back is really exposed to that angle. If he has to take a gunfight there, he's got a small wall to use for cover potentially, but it is not going to be an easy fight to take. And it may well be something that Cloud9 recognise and try to get in there just to root him out. But Crazy Papillon, he is then the cover. He's the one that needs to try and look after JJ at the bottom of those stairs. And it's going to be Yura, actually, who opens things up onto Harper, just getting around with the Malushi there and just making a nuisance of himself.
Didn't even know that he ran out of strip, I think, as well. They thought that maybe it was coming out of pool window. I'm not quite sure. They don't look too convinced as to where he may have just come from. Maybe in this case they are. MV sweeping out that way in case he does try a second one, but he has relocated. He's playing on the pool window instead. And maybe if MV's looking the right way at the right time, he would have seen him, but no. Had his attention drawn elsewhere, so Yura remains at large, a criminal inside a clubhouse, ready to cause some trouble.
Just opening up the wall there, Yura, you can see the confidence in the player just starting to really rise now. 10 and 5 shots raining in onto Static. He's going to dip away from that gunfight, and Yura at the minute is almost like the invisible man, just dips away, doesn't take any damage. He just cuts here, cuts there, and then gets another kill. He's an absolute menace right now. 1 minute left to go, and Cloud9, they need to think of a different approach. They need to mix this up because they haven't got anywhere near sight yet. They're still looking to challenge into Lounge and Bar, and the cover that has been in place for Guts to enable JJ to stay in that garage door has been fantastic.
it's again the numbers disadvantage for Cloud9 that we were fearful may happen, that Guts might start swinging back into it. You spoke about not letting it become a bit of a torrent. Well, it might turn into one very, very soon if this carries on the way it has so far. It's trying to think now with the limited resource they've got left, the 3 members on side against 5, if they can actually make this work. The play so far has been spam grenades out and rush in. It's going to lead to absolutely nothing, as there was a player in Garage, a player in Red, a player inside of Cash. There's players everywhere. They can achieve nothing. Round 8 also going the way of Guts.
Flawless round for Guts there, so it's getting better and better, if anything. Now, how many times have we seen this so far in the last 48 hours, Des, that a team comes out with a really electric, a really big start? We saw it out of G2, we saw it out of Fnatic this morning, we've seen it out of Cloud9 now, and then their opposition just reel them back in.
It's one of them kind of back and forth natures of the game, I think, as well. And in the first half, we weren't super sold on Cloud9. Like the number of times again that Charles should have been dead early. The fact that they got to the scoreline, they did a 5-1 was quite a surprise. But we never know. This may be one of those games that we find burning through to overtime and go, whoa, no one expected that at the halfway mark. Gym and Bedroom are going to be the next site that we charge over to. Interesting picks coming out. Straight away, my eyes are drawn one towards the Ella, who I believe is blasting things apart with a shotgun right now, but also looking towards the Clash.
I always find a Clash an interesting pick. It can be one of those all or nothings. Sometimes you find that they are the only thing between the attacking team and winning the round, and then sometimes they just get dealt with really easily and quickly. I'm looking across at the side of Cloud9. They've got the Zofia there, so Shiol's going to be particularly important in dealing with that Clash. That's going to be the main avenue, really, looking across what they've got. They don't have any frag grenades, so there's no opportunity there. Ash, of course, with the breaching charges, if well placed, I suppose, could force Clash out of position potentially. But that said, you need them for clearing utility quite often, so it's not going to be an easy operator for Cloud9 to deal with here. It's not like they've got something, a direct counter in the lines of a Capitao, for example, who can come in, or a Kali who can just repeatedly remove that shield. Quite limited with Shiol there, and only having a small number of those concussive grenades to get the shield out from in front of her.
Quick update, by the way, Ace. I'm 94% of the way towards my second pack.
Ooh. I hope everybody's enjoying the packs. I think it's a fantastic addition, getting those little esports cosmetics going on. I think it's a great new thing we've got for the streams.
I'll open them up later on and find out what goodie bags are waiting. In the case of you guys are wondering where you find out about these, if you go to twitch.tv/drop/inventory, you'll be able to see your current progress towards your packs, in case you're wondering. I've seen a few asking about it over the course of the last 24 hours or so. So that's your information, /drops/inventory, and you can see more about it there. But back on the game itself, Clash holding inside of logistics here is going to be the interesting one, because by the looks of it, with the hatch being opened up, with players starting to push inside the east side of the map, that's where I think Cloud9 are going to start thinking about pushing into. Given they've got control of CCTV, they can play on the south balcony that we mentioned earlier on. They've got angles. Oh my god, I think Emmy didn't see for a second that Euro was to his right-hand side, but does eventually snap onto his head. Normally, it's Euro the one being aggressive in the early round, but here, he's been caught out a little bit earlier on.
Let's see how Guts Gaming can manage here. This could be pivotal, Des, because Euro, as you say, has been such an important part of that team. We've got Light on 9 kills, Euro on 11, so there's only one of that dynamic duo remaining now. And if Cloud9 are able to take full advantage of this situation, it could well change things. But as I said, struggling to deal with that Clash, and it's because they're limited to only the Zofia utility coming out of Shiol, and it's very difficult as a one-man to get in there, get the concussive grenade, and flip to your rifle, hit the shots, all in the space of time of that animation of Clash's shields being removed from the front of her. So they need to be teaming up in order to do that. Where I said, if they had the Capitao here, in goes the asphyxiation arrow, and things are a little bit different now. JJ going ham with the Ella shotgun, manages to find one, and we end up with a bloodbath. And when it all tumbles down, there's Cloud9 find themselves 3-1 in the advantage. Shiol managing to deal with it, and all of a sudden Lily is all alone on the Clash, and no amount of shields was going to save him there, as Cloud9 just circled in and got that final kill. They knew the blood was in the water, and like sharks, they brought the man down. Cloud9 find themselves on match point. Guts, still plenty of fight in them.
I think it was really intelligent how they played that. Charles towards the end, rather than dropping close and looking to swing around the corners to challenge the Ella with that Titan killer in hand, said, no, we hang back, wait for her to challenge us. And to be fair, they probably could have just ignored the Zofia. They had no impacts, they had no grenades, nothing left except bullets, and they couldn't approach the clash. Probably could have slowly burnt them from afar, but they were a bit too keen with the Ella, stepped out. A lot of the damage was eaten by the desk that was between the Ella and the Zofia. Charles finds the kill, and from there, the whole defense inside of logistics falls down to nothing. So a good attempt and good idea from Guts, just maybe a bit too keen on the execution in the dying moments, I think.
Very possibly. Cloud9, they need to now find themselves a successful attack down into Church and Arsenal for the last round here if they want to put this one beyond doubt and get the full 3 points on the board. If they can manage that, it will take them to the top. Of course, we did already see a match earlier. The first match ended in an overtime win, so that will be 2 points, and then we've got the second match, which was a 3-pointer, but Cloud9 will head up there to the top of the table as well. But there is still 3 minutes between them and doing exactly that. They've got a few bites at the cherry now this time around, so I'm sure, to be honest, with what we've seen from them, I think they will find a way, because once again, Guts have to go through that full rotation now. So if they see the same successful defences again, if they get Church and Arsenal, if they get CCTV locked down, they still have to go back to gym and bedroom, and they weren't really very close to successfully defending it there.
It's almost a shame, actually, because, again, right sort of idea. This could have been staring down the barrel of 5 and 4, where it would have felt much closer as a game. But as it stands, Guts need to find these 3 rounds back-to-back if they want to force it through to overtime. And I don't want to sit here and say Cloud9 have played terribly today, but this is definitely not the kind of Cloud9 that I'm used to seeing, where they're full of beans, there's a lot of aggression, there's energy, there's confidence in the play. It just felt a little bit shaky at points today. Maybe it's down to a new season, I don't know. But there's definitely work to do there. Or maybe Guts have just thrown it for 6 a little bit and they're slightly thrown off by what Euro, for example, has brought along in a lot of these rounds, which is the willingness and the ability to put himself in situations where he can catch out members of C9 that are rotating or getting themselves into slightly risky positions.
We can hear then quick work as the hard breach goes into action to open those hatches. Need to really be taking advantage of those angles. And last time around, what happened was that Guts just managed to get the roamers cleared out very easily. This time, it doesn't seem to be quite the same case. Guts are playing a lot deeper. They got a lot of joy out of the roamers last time and managed to just shut down the clearance, get themselves a couple of kills before falling back to site. Whereas this time, they've gone for more of a turtle defense, really, and they've got themselves all locked in there on the basement floor, forced back by Cloud9. They now need to be very resolute. They've got 1 minute and 15 seconds left to survive down here. They need to make sure that they're not exposing themselves unnecessarily to angles like the one up to the top of Blue Stairs that is currently being watched, like the ones being opened up around this kitchen hatch. We've seen a lot of vertical play so far today on Clubhouse.
Yeah, often the way the map goes. Of course, one change that we didn't really note too much, a lot of players did mention when it first came in, the doubling up of the boxes downstairs in the basement does make the angle a little bit safer for the defenders to start holding now. Looking inside of Arsenal, looking upwards from there, you can't get the direct angle down, so one thing to be mindful of is that C4 into the death box does put Envy Taylor down, but doesn't quite finish him off in this case. And Static, who was originally looking to push his way through Moto, probably now going to have to back away and revive his old teammate. In fact, no, he won't, because someone else is going to get him back up. And I say old teammate like he's not a current teammate. Of course he is.
Static completely unaware that there is a man on the exact opposite side of that soft wall. Pull the trigger and he would have got everything that his heart desired, but he couldn't, as he didn't know. Shio gets one, and we have the clubhouse basement bloodbath as the diffuser goes down. But all of a sudden, Harper finds himself 1 versus 2, manages to down the first. Can he find the second as he creeps in? He just moves around at the wrong time. He has to take the man because he's a living camera at that point, feeding information, and he gets shut down. Lily, aware that he was playing in behind the boxes, able to get the kill and disable the diffuser, and that was close for Guts Gaming. They nearly lost it all, but they just rescued it from the brink.
Oh, whoa, such a close round again. The fact that it comes down to rounds like these is insane. A 1v1 in the post plant after a sudden burst rush coming out of Cloud9. action-packed is what we like to see, and action-packed we are being given. We are still at match point. We said there were 3 rounds that Guts had to win back-to-back to force us through to overtime and stop Cloud9 running away with all 3 points. They've still got 2 more rounds to go, and that round just then was that close. God knows what the next 2 could possibly look like.
So this time around, we are heading back to CCTV and Cash. It's another site that was successfully defended by Guts back in round number 8. And it all started out, if you remember, with that Euro run out there, straight out of the strip area, got himself a kill onto Harper. And they just never really got to grips with where Euro was. He then moved into Bar, and he was able to challenge in towards Stock. And he just made their lives extremely difficult. So Euro is somebody this time around that they have to pin down, and the whole defense sort of revolved around this setup that I'm presuming they're going to go for again. So JJ sets up his Goyo shield on the single door to garage there and tries to hold himself down. He's got Crazy Papillon at the top of Cash stairs watching down towards the blue door into lounge to protect his back from that angle, and then Yura is basically playing the rest of the map to the left. So he's playing bar, strip and everything above him to prevent JJ really feeling any pressure to move him away from there. It's a great setup that worked very well last time, and I'm interested to see if Cloud9 can pick it apart. The real key for me is in either getting the kill onto Yura or getting the kill onto Crazy Papillon. You basically need to just open up one of those avenues so that you can expose JJ's back, and once you've got him cleared out of there, you've probably got 2 kills along the way and you can start moving into garage.
Ideally, Yura, given the headache that he's created for Cloud9 so far in this game. We touched on him a little bit earlier on the defenses, on the attacking side, how much hassle he was giving players like Charl, who didn't really have much impact in the first half, and have definitely warmed up as time has gone by. That we should be going and getting this wall opened up as the gadgets are disabled, thanks to those thatch charges. Of course, a few months ago, we changed from destroying gadgets to temporarily disabling them. That'll be that east wall opened up and the clear of the top side can begin. Start thinking about that site execute. Historically, Cloud9 have not managed to clear out any members of Guts before losing 1 or 2 for themselves. So a little bit more caution being exercised here, it feels, by C9 so far.
It's a fascinating point about the EMPs and the changes, Des, because it obviously completely changes the dynamic of bandit tricking as well, because once upon a day, the bandit batteries would just be cleared off and destroyed, and you could apply another one. So it was a very quick process to be able to apply another battery and try and prevent that hard breach, whereas now the battery is disabled, but still registers as being attached to the wall. So you can't just apply another battery to the wall. You have to first pick that one up and then reapply. So the bandits have to be really switched on now. They have to be very ready for that so that they can be picking it up immediately to get it back down in time for when that hard breach comes out. But look at this, almost uncontested, Des. Cloud9 have got in and are looking now to get the construction wall open. Lily gets downed as moving back in. He did take a big chunk of damage off Envy there on the jump out, but lost more than he gained as he gets downed on his way back in. As we can see, though, they're still struggling with the construction wall. It looks like there's a mute jammer in place, which is just preventing that Selma from detonating.
How? They did disable it. It's through inside of the other room. Yeah, just here. Look, thank you very much, medics. It was disabled, so I'm surprised that didn't go off. Maybe the ace wasn't there in time, and they assumed they'd just get away with it. So a small slip up here on the side, I think, of Cloud9. Do they have any EMPs left? No, they do not. That might be a thorn in their side later on in there. There we go. Finally, it gets opened up.
I tell you what I think happened is when Lily jumped out of the window, I think he shot the exothermic off the wall. I'm sure they had thermite in there initially trying to get that wall open. I could be wrong in that, and maybe it was just that Ace went really close to apply the Selma, but if that's the case, then it was a heads-up play and well worth losing the life for. JJ does get himself a kill on the Goyo, and we now find ourselves in a 2 versus 4. What looked like a good attack for Cloud9 is all falling apart here as Light gets himself a double, and that's going to be Guts finding themselves 1 round shy here. Could we be going to overtime again? I'm not sure I can handle it, Des.
Mate, my voice is going to give out. I'm so glad it's the weekend tomorrow and we have at least a 2 or 3 day break to get some recovery time in, because that round there is one of those examples where Cloud9 were doing everything right. East wall open, didn't lose a life, got round to construction, still hadn't lost a life, and even managed to kill a member of Guts. And you think, right, 5 versus 4, they've got open what they need to. This is a simple get in there and plant, have all the cover, and this game is done and dusted. But no. All 5 kills go the way of Guts. Not a single additional kill is picked up by Cloud9. It is a total stomp over. They are 1 round away for pulling back what we didn't think they'd be able to do just 2 rounds ago when it was 6-3. They're about to go 6-6 and send us into overtime.
So we're heading back to gym and bedroom now. The Clash pick remains. If you remember last time around, it wasn't particularly impactful. Clash actually found herself wedged in behind the desk in logistics, which is the smallest box on the map. There was absolutely nothing that Lily could do from there. Thank you, medics. Just in behind that bookcase at the top of your screen is where she found herself, and there really is nowhere to go. She was pinned in there by the Zephyr, and basically it was a waste of an operator at that point. So Lily needs to be very careful with his positioning this time around, lest he leave them 5 versus 4 again.
The big thing I want to see if JJ plays inside a secret again is that he's in a position to not peek someone at distance, because that's how they lost out control of that room ultimately last time. But given the fact they're committing so many reinforcements out towards CCTV, either they're doing this just to burn through some of the utility coming out of Cloud9 and force them to make decisions later in the round, or they are actually going to hold inside a cache. It looks to be that way because there is also a shield inside of red. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Frostmat Oz 2 going down on windows nearby as well. They're looking to waste time for Cloud9 and then pull back. There we go.
20 seconds gone, and the east wall is about to be opened up by Nova. Just going to clear the breach out and allow that east side access so that the push can begin. We can see the Frostmats down just inside a cache there, and it's interesting positioning. You would expect that they are wide open there, and is anybody going to walk into them? But what you've got to remember is a lot of players moving into cache, they are going to be in full ADS there, just looking around to make sure that the room is clear, and that is when it is very easy to miss a Frostmat like that. Now then, Static is going to open things up with the slightly unusual Goyo shield kill there, managing to take that one down, and the Frost goes along with it. And that's a big player gone in the side of Light.
It was very risky from Static, admittedly. They've tried to flash it out at the same time that Static charged in to drop the breaching round onto the shield. He could have died to Light if he wasn't too careful, but thankfully got in there, popped the shield, got back out, and by that point, Light was flashed, had no idea where he was, tried to get through the rotate back into cache, and ultimately burnt to death from that Goyo shield. Unfortunate, but good clearance coming out of Cloud9.
1 minute 30 left to go to decide whether we see this one all the way through to overtime, or can Guts, are they going to fall foul of an inability to defend this site? They are already a man down, and the pressure is starting to mount as Cloud9 send the drones in and just seek further information. Once again, Lily playing in that exact same position. I understand that the Clash is trying to hold down the hatch drop from logistics, but look at how tightly closed in she is there. 25 health left and very little impact that can be had apart from preventing that drop. But last time around, it didn't prevent it. There was still pressure, there was still ingress through logistics, and they managed to find that kill. Now, Yura, what can you do? Harper seems to be very alert to the fact that Yura is playing underneath still and could have an impact here. Once this Clash is dealt with, they're going to be in serious trouble.
Oh, they can't clear her though, and the JJ still hanging around the corner with the shotgun. They can't push onto her. No utility now to move the shield out the way. That was their last chance. Shile finds one. A second follows through. They got rid of the Ella. That was the big one to unseat. So now the logistics is clear. All they've got to do is get rid of Lily, and this is in their control. They've still got one upstairs. It's like death walking at you a little bit faster every time. He gets finished off. Crazy Papillon's left by himself. Can't do it. Cloud9 at the last second are going to win it 7-5. 3 points for the boys. Guts probably going to feel a little bit cheated by the almost comeback they were pulling off.
Celebrations there for Cloud9 as they pick up their first win of the season, but it had to go all the way to 12, and Guts put up a great performance there. Very impressed from what I've seen. They were quite adaptable. They were able to recognise what Cloud9 were doing and to work around it, but ultimately Cloud9 found a way, and I just think it maybe comes down to that Clash pick. It was really ineffective at preventing any sort of ingress into logistics, and I understand the concept